The latest episode of General Hospital delivered another whirlwind of emotions, fiery confrontations, and explosive secrets as the residents of Port Charles faced turning points in their personal lives and ongoing battles. The drama on Thursday, August 28th, picked up steam across multiple storylines, from Michael's tense custody standoff with Drew, to Portia and Isaiah's fiery passion behind closed doors, to dangerous mob dealings that put Judge Herron directly in the crosshairs. At the Quartermaine mansion, Martin Gray wasted no time in updating Tracy Quartermaine on the latest chaos surrounding Drew Kane and the fallout from Stella Henry's arrest. Martin was quick to blame Drew's interference for escalating Stella's legal troubles, and he pushed Tracy to throw her considerable weight behind their efforts to clean up the mess. While Tracy agreed that Stella deserved her support, she made one thing very clear: her involvement would remain separate from Martin's. In typical Tracy fashion, she wasn't about to let anyone think she was doing it for anyone but herself, but Stella's history with the Quartermaine family made it personal enough for Tracy to step in. Meanwhile, Brooklyn was at the police station, opening up to Dante Falconeri about her recent encounter with Gio Palmieri. Gio had been struggling emotionally on his adoptive mother's birthday, and Brooklyn admitted she wasn't sure she'd done enough to help. Dante, ever the peacemaker, decided to reach out himself. He tracked Gio down at the church, where Brooklyn had seen him, and in a heartfelt attempt to connect, Dante shared a sweet story from Joe's infancy. Gio wasn't ready to embrace a close bond, keeping Dante at arm's length, but he did appreciate the apology and the acknowledgement of past mistakes, especially surrounding the difficult time when Rocco was hospitalized. It was a small step, but one that showed Gio might be willing to let down his guard eventually. Back at the PCPD, Alexis Davis arrived to lend her legal expertise to Stella, who was still reeling from the arrest ordeal. Alexis assured Stella that she'd fight to get her out of this situation, but the whole incident weighed heavily on Stella's loved ones. Trina, shaken by everything, approached Sonny Corinthos and made it clear that she held Drew responsible for putting Stella in this position. Sonny didn't disagree. With his trademark intensity, Sonny promised Alexis that Drew would pay for what he'd done. The warning was chilling, a sign that Drew's crusade was pushing him deeper into dangerous waters. Across town at Windmere, things were no calmer. Jen Sidwell was absolutely livid after Marco confessed to spilling critical information to Drew. Marco revealed that he had told Drew about the judge bribery situation, knowing full well that Drew would use it against Sonny and potentially fracture the bond between Sonny and Michael. For Marco, that was justice for Natalia Ramirez, and he didn't care about the bigger consequences. Sidwell, however, was furious. He had planned to use the leverage against Sonny for his own gain, particularly regarding Sonny's peers, but Marco's rash actions meant that opportunity was lost. Still, Sidwell knew one thing was urgent. They had to silence Judge Eva Herron before Sonny or anyone else could get to her. That meant Judge Herron's life may now be in grave danger. At the hospital, emotions boiled over as Portia confronted Curtis about the state of their marriage. Portia let loose with accusations, claiming that Curtis's heart had always truly belonged to Jordan. Curtis, unable to deny his growing resentment, admitted that he had been trying to bury those feelings for the sake of rebuilding their family, but it was clear the strain was too much. He finally reached the breaking point, telling Portia he needed to turn his attention towards Stella's crisis rather than fight a losing battle with her. Portia, devastated, told Curtis that if he walked out the door, their marriage would be over. And yet Curtis still walked away, leaving Portia to smash their wedding photo in anger and heartbreak. With tears in her eyes, she tugged at her ring, struggling to get it off, as if cutting the last tie to her failed marriage. At the same time, Isaiah was having his own heated exchange with Jordan. He accused her of never fully giving their relationship a real chance because her heart was still entangled with Curtis. Feeling betrayed and frustrated, Isaiah stormed out, and his path led him directly to Portia. When he entered her office, he found her still struggling with her wedding ring, surrounded by shards of glass from the broken frame. Isaiah stepped in, gently helping her remove the ring, and in that vulnerable moment, sparks flew. The tension between them erupted, passion taking over as they made out furiously, with clothes flying and Portia's wedding ring landing on the floor beside the broken photo. It was a symbolic, heartbreaking, and thrilling shift, Portia officially crossing the line into something new with Isaiah just as her marriage with Curtis shattered for good. Elsewhere, Drew was busy trying to manipulate Michael into agreeing to shared custody of the kids. Drew argued that Michael should allow Willow to see them freely and even apologize to the children for his resistance. He pushed for Michael to agree to a 50-50 custody arrangement with Willow, dangling a major threat if Michael refused. Drew revealed he had evidence of a $1 million payment to Judge Heron the night before the court hearing, which he believed could expose Sonny's involvement in bribery and completely overturn the custody ruling. Michael, however, wasn't buying it. He suspected that Drew's so-called proof was fabricated or, at the very least, unreliable. Michael refused to cave to Drew's pressure and countered that if Drew insisted on pursuing this, then Michael would delay the visitation hearing indefinitely. Drew's frustration mounted as he stormed out, but he wasn't giving up. He immediately got on the phone with Kai Taylor, asking for help tracking down Carly Spencer, who remained a key player in his plans. Back at Aurora, Drew tried to leave Willow a hopeful voicemail, telling her he believed everything would work out. But before he could finish, Curtis barged in and cut the call short. Curtis, fueled by anger and a sense of betrayal, delivered a stark warning. He told Drew that if he didn't end his crusade against Curtis's family, Curtis himself would end it, permanently. It was a chilling moment, signaling that Drew's actions were pushing him toward a dangerous standoff not only with Sonny, but also with Curtis, who had just reached his breaking point. Meanwhile, Michael wasted no time updating Sonny on Drew's claims about the bribed judge. Sonny was adamant that he had nothing to do with it, and Michael already suspected as much. Father and son stood united in their belief that they needed answers, and that meant finding Judge Heron before Sidwell and Marco could silence her. But as they planned their next steps, the threat to Judge Heron's life grew larger by the minute. Sidwell's resolve was clear. He couldn't allow her to live if she posed any risk of exposing him. Thursday's episode of General Hospital proved once again that in Port Charles, relationships can crumble in an instant, secrets never stay buried, and power struggles can have life-or-death consequences. With Michael holding his ground against Drew, Portia and Isaiah igniting a passionate new romance, Curtis threatening drastic action, and Sidwell plotting against a judge, the stage is set for chaos that could shatter lives across town.